Hello, 7Es receiving teachers and students.
Hello, Mr. Kanau.
How are you all this morning?
We are very well, thank you. And how are you?
You may be seated. Right, last time in your first lesson, what did we look at? Can we have some people to tell us what we looked at in our other lesson? Elsie.
Measuring temperature and time.
Very good. Did you all hear that? Some didn't, so one boy.
Measuring temperature and time.
Good. Did you all hear that?
Yes.
Right. We were looking at measuring temperature and time. Now, what did you use to measure temperature and time? First of all, temperature, what were you using? Emmanuel. Receiving students, hopefully you are telling your answer to your teachers. We'll hear from Emmanuel. Emmanuel?
We use thermometer to measure.
Very good. The instrument that we used was a thermometer. Now, what were you using to measure time? What did you use to measure time? Ruthie.
Stop clock.
Stop clock. Good. You're using stop clock or seconds timer to measure time. Good. In today's lesson, we are going to be looking at our strength is still on working scientifically. Learning outcome is still 7.1.1, and our unit, we are on unit 1, that's skills that reflect real science. Right, today's topic we will be looking at drawing graphs. So our topic for today will be let's draw a graph. Now, we are going to be using the information which we collected from last time. You remember those information that you collected from last time, and we will use that information to draw a graph. Okay, so this is what you're going to be doing. I would like you to copy down, fill in your books. Receiving students, your books are on page 18 and 19. So you turn to your books on page 18 and 19. Those of you who do not have your books with you right now, you can copy the table on the screen. Right, what we have on the screen now is the result from lesson number 9 on measuring time and temperature. Okay, I would like you to copy that correct results down into your student activity book. Do that now. I will give you, say, 2 minutes. Right, class, receiving teachers and students, the result that you are copying down right now is from a group's, from the model class, one of the group's results. So we are going to be drawing a graph and we need only one result. Of course, you would have got different results when you were doing your experiments, but we are going to be using one group's results. So the result that you are copying down right now is from a group, and that's the one that we are going to be all using to make our graph. Right, hopefully by now you should have all finished or completed copying all those results down. Our lesson activity, we'll go into our lesson activity. Our lesson activity for today is we're going to draw a line graph from the results gathered, which you just copied down in the previous lesson, the temperature of hot water at different times. Receiving teachers, you would have noticed on your teacher's guide that it's measuring water at different, iced water at different times. But there's a correction there, it's measuring hot water, temperature of hot water at different times. Please do alterations on your lesson objectives and your lesson contents. Okay, class, let us look at the instructions that we will be doing to draw our graphs. Instruction number 1, fill the column which you have on your books with the information you obtained from the previous lesson, that's measuring temperature and time. Number 2, everyone together. Use the time and temperature data to draw a line graph. Number 3, all the girls. Beautiful. Write a title for your graph. Now the boys. Label the axis and give units. Okay. Number 5, plot along the axis the correct reading. And number 6, everyone together.
Draw a line from point to point from the first point to the last.
Okay, those are all our instructions of what we are going to be doing today. I'll go through the instructions again. You fill the column. Number 1, you fill the column with the information you obtained from the previous lesson. That's on measuring temperature and time. Number 2, use the time and temperature data to draw a line graph. 3, you write a title for your graph. 4, you label the axis and give units. 5, plot along the axis the correct reading. And 6, you draw the line from point to point, from the first point to the last point. Right, whilst going through the instructions, some of you may be confused, so we'll go slowly. Let's just imagine that you have a sheet of paper which you are going to draw your graph. Now, what do you have at the top of the sheet of paper? Right at the top. Right at the top. Let's hear from John. John?
Write the title. Write the title.
Good. You write the title of the graph. That's right at the top of the graph itself. Okay. On the graph, you will see 2 lines, one at the bottom and the other along the side. Okay, those 2 lines, that's where you're going to put, you'll be putting in your measurements and things. Okay, the one at the bottom. What do you think the one at the bottom is called? This one here. The one at the bottom. Tara.
Horizontally. Horizontally.
Very good. The horizontal axis. These are 2 axes, so it is called the horizontal axis. How about the one on the side? The one on the side? This side here. Conti.
Vertically.
Vertically. Good. Sconti says vertically. This is called a vertical, everyone? Vertical what? Okay, good. It is called a vertical axis. Then on the scales, you will see little bits and pieces of things going all over the place like that. Here, along the horizontal axis and along the vertical axis. Anybody know what these are called? Samwell.
Strokes.
Thank you. They are strokes. Okay, those strokes have their names. They've got their names. They are similar to the ones that you find on fish skin. What do you call those ones on the fish skin? On the fish skin, where you scrape them off, what do you call that? Walter.
Scales.
Scales. Very good. Okay, these are called scales. They are scales of the bar graph. They are all scales of the bar graph. Okay, the last time we are measuring temperature and time. On our graph, we will put up. What do you think we'll put down here? At the bottom, we will put certain numbers. Good. And the ones that we put at the bottom are the number of the receiving students. I hope you are telling your teacher. Model class, what do you think we'll put at the bottom here? Remember, we're measuring time and temperature. So at the bottom here, we are going to be putting time. We will put time, and time is measured in minutes. Time was measured in minutes. How much was the interval on those minutes that you measured? What were they in interval of? The minutes. Joshua.
2 minutes.
2 minutes interval. Okay, 2 minutes interval. So we will put 2. What do you think the other is? 4, 6, and 8. Okay, we had 2, 4, 6, and 8 minutes of measuring. And our time was measured in minutes. What do you think is going to go up here? What goes up there? Nola.
Temperature.
Temperature. Very good. Okay, temperature readings will come up here. The temperature, what was the unit measured for temperature, rather? Okay, class, what was the unit measured for temperature? Degrees Celsius. Degrees Celsius. Okay, so on our graph, we are going to be plotting all the degrees Celsius by intervals of 5 degrees each. Okay, so we will have 5 followed by and on and on and on. Okay. 25 and it will go up. On your student worksheet, you have a grid of 5 by 11. So your number is going to be more than this. This stops at 25. Yours will go further up. Okay, is that understood, everyone? Good. Now, after you get the scales, then the next thing we do is what? What do we do? We plot along the axis the correct reading. Take, for example, if this graph we were to plot in 17 degrees Celsius, then we would put it somewhere there, right? Or where? Below 20, above 20, below 20? Just above 15, towards 20, somewhere there. Okay, so if that was 17, then maybe 17 degrees Celsius is there. Or if it was 24 degrees Celsius, where do you think it will go in? 24 degrees Celsius? just below 25. And you would have plotting where 24 degrees Celsius is. And say this was measured after 3 minutes, and this was measured after 7 minutes. What if it was after 12 minutes and it came down to 10 degrees Celsius? Then we would place your dot on 10, right there. Okay, after you do that on your graphs, then you are going to be doing what? Very important thing why we are doing this. What are you going to be doing? You are going to be drawing a line. That is why, receiving students, that is why we are drawing a line graph. So after you plot in all your measurements, you will do a line. Okay, right up to joining all those points there, the second and the third. Okay, so that's what you will be doing in your activities. I would like you to turn to your activity books now and you do that. Please use your results table, the one that you got the results table that you got the results on. Use that one to do your activity table. Receiving teachers, you can help your students out. Now, receiving teachers and students, you will see that on the student worksheet, there are not enough lines, so you are recommended to put up 5 by 11 on the grid and for students to work. But if they do not have that, then there's an extra line there which you could let them to draw the extra line in order to help them to write up their graph. Right, receiving teachers and students, you will be using the results from lesson 9, which is on the screen, to get down your correct reading. Plot in your readings. You will all be using the one that is on the screen. Remember, when you got your readings down, the last time each of you had different ones. So, since we are going to have one correct answer for the graph, I would like you to use this one on the screen. Right, class and receiving students, when you put up ready to put up your first dot, you place it alongside the numbers. When you are ready to put up your first dot, place it alongside these numbers here. The first one is going to be 29.0 degrees Celsius. You place it somewhere along this line. And then when you go to the first 2 minutes, which is 51.4 degrees, then you put it along that 2-minute line. All clear? Okay. Once again, you place your first dot on this line here, along this line. 29.0 degrees Celsius must be placed on this line. And then first 2 minutes, you have 51.4 degrees Celsius. That's the one that you are going to place along this line. And then you go on to 50.0 degrees Celsius, the 4th minute along this line. Okay, so that's what you should be doing. Okay, 70s and receiving students. By now you should have finished plotting your charts or graph. You should have finished plotting your graph and are now ready to put them up correctly. Okay, I will have about 6 students to come and plot in what they have so far. So we will have Bagley come up and plot in your first one.
Only the first one or all of them?
First one. Okay, go. Rhoda, Clement, okay, we all finished? Right, we got a bit confused because there was no 0 at the bottom there. So that's one correction there. All numbers should start with 0 because 0 is a number. Okay, so we will start with 0 there. And your graph should at least look something like this. Have we finished our graph yet? Yes. No, we haven't. What have we not finished? Right, our title. What's our title going to be? What do you think our title is going to be? Yes, please. Emmanuel, go ahead.
Measuring temperature. Measuring temperature.
Measuring temperature.
And time.
And
time.
Time. Okay, good. Measuring temperature and time. So we are going to put it up here. Right, that is the title of our graph, measuring temperature and time. I would like you to very quickly look at the summary. Our summary for today: a graph is a diagram showing the relationship between two varying quantities. Okay, so a graph is a diagram showing the relationship between two varying quantities or two different quantities. And number 2, a graph contains the following: title, vertical axis, horizontal axis, and scales. It contains those ones. Right, our key phrase for today is line graph. That's our key phrase for today. Next lesson topic we'll be looking at is measuring force. And the materials for the next lesson are spring balance, small bag of plastic, the size of your fist. Get it to the size of your fist. The small bag of plastic to the size of your fist. Sand, small stones, 10 3-inch nails, 5 dry cells. With that, thank you very much, 7Es and receiving students and teachers.